finna get into this panel discussion, state of the culture. I had some cool questions. I sent the questions to the panelists, and it was like, oh, this is some great stuff. But I wanted them to give me some stuff that they want to talk about as well. So really want to have a good conversation. I'm looking forward to this and more to come. So I'm gonna read some bios because I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. I got bios like 5 minutes ago. One person was like, "Here's my bio. I ain't even asked for it." And then I was like, "Damn, I should have asked people for bios." But when you're a one-man show, you do good with that. So, first up, Miss Carla Jones, make your way up here. She's an independent journalist and CEO of Carla Media LLC, and she's a native of, Carla Mechele Media. My apologies on that. Even though the guy on WJCT, he said it wrong like crazy. I was like, he messed it up. So, let me turn this off. Hold on. There we go. Graduated from the University of Florida with a degree in broadcast journalism and a minor in political science. And she has 20 plus years experience with the media industry. She has worked for ABC News, NPR, Inside Edition, ESPN, First Coast News, and more and more and more and more. The latest venture that she just did that was dope was the Lift Every Voice exhibit. Shouts out to Erin Kendrick. She had a part of that as well. Mm-hmm. So again, Carla Jones, make some noise. OG Rawby, where you at, my guy? Make some noise for OG Rawby. Young OG Rawby, AKA Rawby, is an African-American poet, artist, creative director, and curator from Jacksonville, Florida. He is the founder of Winedown Wednesday at Jax. I know y'all done heard about Winedown Wednesday at Jax, right? This is the founder. Yeah, and he's an advocate of youth development and passionate about the integration of hip hop in the development of the creative arts scene here in Jacksonville. Make some more noise for OG Rawby. DreCo. Hey, DreCo. Ew. Listen, that's my thing. Every time I see her, she be styling like crazy. So I have to give her that you doing your thing. So. Nevertheless, DreCo is a visionary, creative, dedicated to blending diverse artistic mediums to enrich the 904 culture. By fusing various forms of art and connecting with people from all walks of life, DreCo aims to foster a vibrant, inclusive community and drive. Make some noise for DreCo, everybody. Last but not least, Troy McNair. Make some noise for Troy McNair. Co-founder, partner of GMG Think Bold Festival and Conference. Y'all heard about Think Bold Festival, right? All right. So this is the guy. This is the guy with I'm gonna say with all the money. But nevertheless, I've known him not even 10 plus years, 15, 20 plus years. Yeah, but he's been a great person in the hip hop space, has done a lot of work. One of the main people that I admire is De La Soul. He's always bringing Maceo here. Maceo from De La Soul. So he is responsible for that and a lot of things going on in the hip hop community. So round of applause for Troy McNair. All right, here we go. Here's your mic. Pass it along. I'm gonna stand over here because this mic is crazy. All right, again. When I thought of the shouts out to Larry Love. Y'all know Larry Love, right? DJ Larry Love. He helped me with this panel. And when he specifically mentioned OG Rawby, I was like, I really was thinking about him. But I'm glad that Larry helped me with that. But nevertheless, when I thought of these four people, I feel like I know they're doing like the greatest things in the spaces that they're in. And some of the people that are in the spaces with you guys and gals might have questions, might have inquiries and all that other stuff. So me personally, I feel like we don't have these conversations a lot or at all. And I'd be looking for these questions or whatnot. We have them in our small areas sometimes, festivals and conferences, or parties, sometimes you're at a bar and somebody start talking about something that's so innovative and you like, hold on to that. We got to talk about this over coffee versus vodka. But I would like to have a space where there's kind of like a medium ground, where it's the town hall meetings, where it's the let's kind of get together and see what the business is. Like, you thought about this and da-da-da. Like, you know, and within this conversation, I'm sure all of us are going to have some type of one thing that we're like, okay, this is a problem, or this is a great thing. We need to do more of this. So this is an open conversation. It might get a little intense, I'm not sure. But this is all out of space. This is a safe space, all right? Let me acknowledge that. This is definitely a safe space to have these conversations, and I definitely would like to have MPN be one of those safe spaces prominently in Jacksonville, Florida. So when it comes to the creators, the artists, the small businesses, and be supportive of the Think Bows and the 904 Records and the Winedown Wednesdays, and Carla's doing like the most dopest shit ever. So yeah, you are. All right, so one more time for them. That's my spiel to the questions. I'm gonna jump into this. Carla, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Y'all familiar with when Donald Trump went to NABJ and spoke on that? So it's funny, Carla, because yesterday I had a conversation and I started seeing it a little bit more from a journalistic standpoint. Me personally, I was not seeing it from a journalistic standpoint because I'm like, Donald Trump don't need no platform. And he definitely don't need no platform on a black, like NABJ is National Association of Broadcasters, black journalists. Black journalists. And Donald Trump is there. Now, to get some context, they brought past presidents, past people that were on there to talk, right? But I felt like Donald Trump did not need to be there because we all know, in my eyes, I felt like we all know what he's about. With that being said, I can't swing it on this one. I would like to know your view on that and how that can affect the media scope here in Jacksonville.
Whew, okay. Started with the easy question. Okay, I will start by saying yes. NABJ is an organization that is for us and by us. And in my career as a journalist, I've worked inside the industry, and now I've been an independent journalist for the past 9 years and an entrepreneur journalist. So it's completely different. But I still take the same principles. So for me, credibility is a huge part of what I do. Integrity also. When I was studying journalism, the thing that a lot of people don't like to say about it these days is you're supposed to be a gatekeeper of information. There's a responsibility to being a journalist. So if you're interviewing someone and they're not truthful, it is incumbent upon the journalist to bring truth to the story. In later years, people use the term objective, be objective or objectivity in order to kind of paint both sides as doing the same thing. And I feel like that's dangerous. So my perspective is he should not have been there because I do believe that the media played a role in him becoming president in the first place because of the misinformation, because of the things that we found out about how foreign entities were planting information on social media, because now people aren't vetting information. You see a meme and you share it. You don't know if it's true or not. So there are tactics to plant disinformation, and we can look at history. We can look at other genocides. We can go back to Hitler. We can look at other elements of fascism, and it includes controlling the media. So I think it's very important to treat this election as different than ones that we've dealt with before, and not pretend that it's objective to invite both parties. And even in that case, because the same grace wasn't extended to both sides. They did offer the opportunity to candidate Vice President Kamala Harris, but she couldn't attend because of a funeral of a congressperson that a lot of other people were attending that too. So she offered to Zoom and be there virtually, and they declined that. So I think if at all costs, if he was going to be there, then they should have made every effort to make sure it was a balanced conversation. One more thing, I think, well, I won't say because it's rumored about his requirements for landing that conversation. And that is another ethical matter. Do you pay for interviews? Not saying he did or that they did, but you can't demand when it's a free opportunity for the public to gain information. You can't make demands in order to gain that interview. You can't answer to demands because, again, that gives that person too much control over the narrative and things like that. So that's my opinion.
Real quick, another question. Since we're talking about narratives, I want you to talk about the importance of storytelling. We're gonna give you a hard question this time since that one was easy. But like I said before, Lift Every Voice, very prominent position in that. Your company, your media company, focuses on Black history, making sure that our history is being told and more so preserved. So I would like for you to talk about that part. Like, how important is that to preserve our history? Because I feel that we need to be preserving Black history need to be preserved a lot more in Jacksonville, and we're innovators of our own crafts. We need to be learning how to do that. So
that's what I love to see lately is people creating their own content and sharing Black stories. I think that's very positive. Personally, I grew up with my great-grandmothers telling me stories. I just remember I was blessed to meet each one of them, all four of them, and just sitting at their feet and asking them questions. And then my grandmothers, when I got probably about 10 years in my career, and while I was thinking about starting a business, I thought about what would my grandmothers have wanted to do if they had freedom. One of my grandmothers was, she worked in people's houses. She was a maid. My other grandmother literally used to pick cotton as a sharecropper in South Carolina before moving to Jacksonville. So I just thought of them and I thought of their stories, and I wanted to share the stories that they had always passed down to me, as well as my parents. So I just started doing that, putting it out on social media, and I was surprised at how many people actually would watch and be interested. So it showed me that just like it inspired pride in me, it was inspiring pride in us as a community. So that's why I do it. And I think especially now we have attacks on our schools and the books and Black history. I think it's even more important that we take ownership of our stories and our own platforms to share it.
Love it.
Word.
Rawby, what's up, man?
What's up, Pete?
How do you manage being an artist and being on the admin side, like being a poet, MC, and then turn around and create one of the dopest events that people can come down and really like literally wind down and have like a culture in one spot? How do you do it?
That's a loaded question.
It is, and I ask that because I do the same thing. So I be wanting to hear from another artist / admin. So go for it.
Because you definitely know how hard it is. It's not impossible, but I will say this: you have to have a passion for the work. You have to have a drive to do it. Just being on both sides of the spectrum, I was able to have both perspectives as you do, like. Seeing what artists need is a skill. Like being aware of what people need and seeing a demand is a skill. So after years and years of being an artist, I started to kind of like pay more attention to what artists were asking for in different spaces, what artists required in the spaces where I was at, and what I like to see for myself as an artist, you know. So I looked at all those spaces inwardly and externally, and I was like, okay, I see a demand here. There were artists being extorted when I moved back to Jacksonville. There was I'm not sure if anybody was aware, but there was a wave of people coming from out of town, coming to Jacksonville doing shows, and then they were basically practicing bad business with artists, having them do unnecessary work just to perform, charging them to perform, having them sell X amount of tickets to perform, having to do X, Y, and Z. Everything except show up and just do your art, you know? And so I just thought, like, you know, this is too much for an artist just to receive little reward. And artists are literally the expression of the city. So my goal, the initial goal and the thought behind what I wanted to do with Winedown was basically to put a little bit more power back into the artists initially. And it started from a base level of seeing the demand. And just being on the curator side, I had to actually tap in more to business. You know, just being business minded allowed me to actually step away from just creating music to actually creating a platform for musicians to be a part of. So I just knew there was power and ownership, as Carla was saying. And so I said, why would I wait for somebody to put me on their show when I could create my show and put myself on, and then put other people on and put others on? Since we've done Winedown, I'm happy to say we put on over 40, 50 artists by now. You know, and that list is growing. So just understanding that artists need to be catered to as well, because they are literally the heart, soul, and expression of our city. Paying them fairly, having them show up, having them just be here for their art and not putting any unnecessary work on them was the fabrication of how I wanted Winedown to represent just good business, artist treatment, and just a quality show. So it's fun. It's all fun. It's all really, really dope. But the core of it all is just to fix a problem that I was seeing in our community. And so that's how I do it.
I had another question, but I'm not going to answer because I feel like you answered. I was going to focus more on the collaborating part, but let's speak on the mentorship part. The collaborating part, I kind of want to ask the whole panel about, because the collaborations of various entities, that is very important, and that is very, very important. And I know there's a stigma in Duval, because I want to speak on Duval. And I feel like the stigma has been around for a long time. It's that gray cloud, or people call it the crab pot and all that.
The crabs in the bucket mentality.
All that stuff. And it's like, all you gotta do is just hit somebody up on the DM and just be like, yo, I love your work. Maybe we can do da-da-da. I mean, go with great intentions. Yeah. But nevertheless, I'm gonna ask all y'all that at the end, because I want to get y'all opinion on that. But the mentorship part, me personally, I would say I've never had a mentor. I just looked at people. Like, I learned like a couple of weeks ago, like, watching somebody do the thing that you admire is still a form of mentorship. I just felt like a person, I felt like I needed to call somebody and be like, hey, what to do? So a lot of stuff I do is just kind of off whatever. By observing. Yeah, so let's speak on the mentorship action on that. Like, that's important as well when it comes to collaborations and just the social aspect of what we do.
I think you touched on something very important. Like, there's different forms of mentorship. I think you can be mentored simply by observing somebody do what you want to do and gleaming information from them. Like, hey, I like what Carla's doing on the journalism side. Let me watch her from a distance and kind of like see how she's moving. She may not know it, but she's mentoring me in my journey. But I can take that mentorship a step further by DMing Carla and saying, hey, Carla, I love your work. I think I would like to learn more from you. Would you be open to mentoring me in X, Y, and Z? That's a step further. I think in every industry, you need a mentor. I was blessed to work, and I'll get the collaboration for sure, because I was blessed to work with these two young ladies sitting next to me. But mentorship in the artist space, specifically, Pete, I think is very important, because mentorship is where we drive the direction of where the future is going. that's when we have the opportunity to take the steering wheel and say, hey, let us direct the course of history with the future generation, and we can teach them what they need to be doing. Now, what path they walk is totally up to them, but you're not there to tell them what to do. You're there to guide them. For me personally, I had several mentorships. I'll wait. In my career, and I've been doing music for over like 9 years. I started in 2013 when I went to FAMU. Shout out to Rattler Nation, and I was able to start my career doing music. But even then, I had people who were way older than me or who've been doing this longer than me kind of steer my course and my sound. They were able to inspire me about the content of my music, and they helped me kind of put together what it is I should be saying in my songs and kind of the direction, the focus of my intention. And I think intention is very important when it comes to having a mentor. That can very, very much be the difference between somebody going off the deep end and somebody being on the right path. And so as far as in the artist community, a lot of artists do not have mentors. They are mainly doing this by themselves or without a guiding hand. And I feel as if with a mentor, you're able to not only grow faster, you're able to spur more conversations like this, you're able to have more collaborations, and you're able to just build better. So it's really about building those relationships, and it's really about passing on knowledge from one generation to the next, from top down. And I think that's true in every industry, and I think that's important because if I didn't have that myself, I wouldn't have been where I am today, personally. And I'm not sure if anybody knows about Black on Black Rhyme, but it's a poetry troupe. It's a poetry organization. Talk Back, yeah, Talk Back. It's a poetry organization that began in Tallahassee by Keith Rogers, and they're on their 25th anniversary this year. And I was blessed to be in that organization and mentor through that program. They taught me how to hustle. They taught me how to perform. They taught me how to work a crowd and make merch and the importance of creating your own product and selling your product. Like when I was with Black on Black Rhyme for about those 7 years, I was traveling the country, literally making a living off of my art with a poetry troupe, and it was very eye-opening because every city, everywhere you go, one thing remained constant, that if you have a product and you are able to sell it, if you are able to sell yourself, meaning you have to learn another skill set, salesmanship, which is important in your everyday life. That's one thing I really I learned, that you can make it anywhere. No matter where we went, no matter what venue we performed at, we were able to sell out, sell strong, and make very, very good income on the road doing poetry. Now, there's other ways I feel as if mentorship can help the youth, but as far as their development, there's probably nothing greater. Yes.
Speaking of making it anywhere and that type of things, DreCo.
Hey.
DreCo.
What's going on, Mr. LP?
Yeah. The call, that's the call, y'all. Respect it. We were in a placemaking Jack's class, and I told you this a couple of days ago.
Right.
She said something very profound, and like I asked you to repeat it, and it's like I remember it now, but like being ready for the world or being ready to show Jacksonville or whoever comes around us like who we are. Mm-hmm. It was very, very profound what you said, and I would have wished that everybody in Jacksonville would have heard it when you said it.
Yeah.
Because do you remember that moment? Like you stood up. I mean, I think it was in the class, and you stood, like, not even stood up, but you just,
yeah.
It sounded like it was a little bit of like bickering going on.
It was.
And you were just like, listen, we got to do this. I really want you to repeat that or try to at least give me that spirit again.
I hope that I'm thinking about the right thing. If I'm not mistaken, shouts out to Placemaking Jacks. I believe it was like a back and forth about whether or not Jacksonville was ready for certain things, and saying that, oh, the population isn't prepared to have a Essence Fest here. We're not prepared to have a film festival here. And I just frankly don't believe that. I'm sitting at a panel. I'm always sitting in rooms with people who believe that the thing that's happening in their head deserves to be happening out here for everybody to experience. I do believe that our community, and I don't just mean the Black community, I mean holistically, but in particular the Black community, we have gone through seasons of being mistreated by event promoters, event planners, where we've been so gun-ho, we're gonna buy the tickets early. You know, we always hear that, you know, Jacksonville, you know, they gonna buy the tickets, you know, 24 hours, because y'all buy tickets so late. But when you're throwing events, it's important to understand the history of the people that you're servicing. And if you've been here long enough, you can recall the event promoters that said, oh, this person's coming to do this person's coming to do that. And you didn't even see them walk through. You didn't even know they was here. They really was in St. Augustine. And so then you have a collection of people that's like, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna wait. And when you create events, you're hoping for early pre-sales. You know, you do the marketing to make sure that you can generate this revenue and things like that. But then people don't get it the first time. And then they say, oh, see, I told you Jacksonville wasn't ready. Ready? We don't even know you. What have you done? How are we supposed to, did you come to something that's already more established, like a Winedown, and let people know that, hey, I'm here. I'm here to support this. I'm here because I believe that the culture needs this. That's the thing that brings people to come and support your event early. That's the thing that have people word of mouth. Jacksonville is notorious. I don't care if you put it on the radio, a billboard, the TV. This mouthpiece, that's what Jacksonville had. That's the power of Jacksonville. That can go one or two ways when you're running an event, but holistically, we're ready. That was my main spiel. We're ready. We're ready to be treated fairly. We're ready to have opportunities instead of going all the way across all the way across the world, all the way across the nation. We have it right here. We have the artists, we have the infrastructure, we have the places, we have the media correspondence. We have everything to have an Essence Festival here. When you remember that this was Black Hollywood right here. Right here. Don't tell me we're not ready. Don't tell me that we can't produce. Don't tell me that, oh, well, you know, we got to take it somewhere else before we come here. I don't believe that. It's a lie. But you're going to have to treat us right. You're not going to come back in here and tell me that, oh, I'm gonna give you all the dreams, but forget that all you've been giving me is nightmares, and that ain't okay. And now you got the answer to that. People continue to think that they can do things and not answer to the public. The public is the thing that's gonna bring you money if that's what you're here for. So if you don't treat us with respect, we're not coming early. We're not gonna respect your event. We're not gonna do any of those things. And if you don't continue to say, if you say it's for the culture, stay strong. The culture will see you. The culture will come and support you if you're actually for the culture. So I believe that's what we was talking about.
No,
and if not, that's what I stand on business
beautiful,
about.
Right? But it takes people like you with that energy, you know what I'm saying? And even more people to say, okay, well, this is an ideal. I want to make it happen. And Troy, I don't want you to forget this, but she mentioned the fact that you said we can't have Essence Fest here. We can't have these things. So, of course, I want to come back and talk to you about that.
Please.
But real quick, DreCo, the importance of visuals. And for me, I'm saying, why the hell you always so damn fly?
You know,
So, yeah, y'all question is the visuals, the importance of visuals. Because when you step out, like, you done told me plenty of times, like, man, Pete, put that shit on. Like,
yeah.
And this is the reason why I had this watch on, because I'm work and I don't even be wearing my good watch.
I saw it when I got here. I was like, ooh.
So yeah.
Pete.
So visuals, why is that important?
Man, from so many different areas. You touched on clothes and just dressing the part, or dressing the part that you want. You know, sometimes I'm also a stylist, so I'm gonna tap on something. Sometimes we dress for the body that we want to get, and that's not the clothes that fit. So in the same way, you have to dress for the place you want to go. So that way people see you and they say, oh, because before I ever know who you are, before I know what you want to do, before I know what you might want to come up and ask me about, I'm looking, I can see you. We say don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, that's true. But if you want somebody to pick you up and read you, get a good illustrator. Like, come on, make it look like something. Make me want to pick up a book. Make those who say that we're illiterate pick up and read you, because that's what's important. Now that's closed. Visuals when it comes to like social media and things like that. So I just want to touch on something that happened recently. There was somebody who reached out to an event that I'm a part of and was like, hey, I would love to give this to your event. The inside conversation from the boardroom was more so like, who is this guy? I looked at his socials and it doesn't say that he does X, Y, and Z. Thankfully, I knew him personally and I could speak to his ability and the reason why we should leap out and connect with him and to give him grace because, everybody's not social media savvy and I get that. But there's somebody in your budget to help you with social media. No, you might not be able to get this person that's doing this website in this place, but you need to find somebody. Find somebody. There is a UNF student, there's a JU student. We are blessed to have 3 different type of demographic colleges and universities here. Tap in. Somebody's hungry for it. Like, do it. Because if I wasn't there to speak for him in that room, he would have missed that opportunity. Simply because the only way I know you is from what I see. Never met, my boardroom had never met him before. So it's very important that even if it's a little bit on there, make sure the little bit is intentional. Make sure you left me a Sam sample. Not like, oh, well, you said you do DJing, but all I see is flowers. Like, are you a photographer? Like, what's going on? Like, you have to allow social media and your visuals to sell you before anybody ever meets you. That's it.
Troy McNair. Yep. The importance of festivals and conferences. Listen, one of my dreams, it's gonna be a reality. I'm giving myself, I told myself 3 years ago, but I think I'm at the year point now. But Fly Sauce and Teas definitely needs to be a festival of some sort. Like, and I've been wanting to do that since year 5. I've been on that festival. I mean, R&B mostly. I told R&B mostly, I'm like, look, we need to be traveling and there need to be festivals, or we need to be on these stages of the festivals. So talk about your mindset to create Think Bold and plan it right here in Jacksonville. Let me ask this. Did you think that Jacksonville was ready for a Think Bold?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. But and I also want to make sure it's very clear. My partner, Mo Henderson. We both put Think Bold together. But first of all, I want to applaud y'all too. I mean, this is amazing information. So I definitely hope we chop it up after this is over. Come on, y'all. This city, Jacksonville, Florida, we playing ourselves if we don't think that this city has all the opportunities in the world. I mean, let's just dissect for a second. There's 32 football teams in the United States of America. Jacksonville has one of them. 32 cities in the city in 32 cities that have NFL teams, right? Jacksonville has one. If we look at what our city, like, I'm not sure if you guys go, and this is important for especially all you creators, I'm gonna get into that too. Downtown Vision, I was about 3 months ago, they had this 10-year master plan in the city of Jacksonville. I don't even know if y'all know, the North Bank and South Bank, that shit is all sold out. It looks empty now, but you can't do anything because it's all sold out. So that should tell you what's going on with our city. The growth is amazing. It might look like it's taking years, but at the end of the day, that's what it takes. It takes years. If we think about Atlanta, and I know I'm probably the oldest person in the room, But I remember Atlanta in the 80s. That's not Atlanta today. I remember Miami in the 80s. That's not Miami today. And I can go through every major city. So we just had a slow start, but it's truly happening. Talking about conferences and festivals, let me ask y'all this, and everybody be honest. Does anybody in their mobile phone have access to a billionaire that you can call them right now? Does anybody? See, if you was at Think Bold last year, that could have been a possibility. Fawn Weaver, the CEO of Uncle Nearest Whiskey, has $1 billion company. She's a unicorn. And for those who are familiar with unicorns, the last technical unicorn was Uber. So any company that grows at a rapid speed that can touch billions is a unicorn. And so Uber was probably one of the last unicorns. She was at Think Bold. She was able to talk to individuals when she got done speaking to share about how she's willing to help individuals that are into the whiskey space, spirit space, or just building a brand. And she took questions personally. She actually went downstairs and had dinner with everybody who wanted to sit down with her. You know, when we talk about creatives, Dapper Dan, Gucci, Puma, Gap, he took questions and sat with individuals when he got done. So any folks that's in that creative space, they had man opportunity to pick his brain, or to, for far as I'm concerned, you want to get the fucking contacts. How can I get your number? I know Puma and Gap, especially Gap is in our community. Is there any contacts at Gap that you can give me where if I'm a creator, especially a designer, how can I get those digits? Or who should I ask for so I can hit the LinkedIn and then message them? You know, Earn Your Leisure. I know a lot of folks heard about, we had Earn Your Leisure. Those guys were able to scale, and they have Invest Fest in Atlanta. We pick their brains all the time. Me and Mo, we constantly try to figure out what they do, how they do it. You know, my brother was talking about mentorships. We hit them up twice a year, and we pick their brains on what's going on, what folks are talking about, what folks are doing. So things like that is why, in my opinion, you know, you have to go to these events and festivals, especially when it's like a Think Bold. And what I mean by like a Think Bold, where you know you're able to touch the person, just like we're all four of us are here. We can touch each other when this is over, and we can chop it up, and we can have a conversation. So I'm not talking about something that you're 200 seats back or 200 rows back, you're never going to be able to touch them. I'm talking about cats that are coming into our city that I can actually touch when they get off that stage. And they're willing, as you can see, when they talk to you, you did a bunch of interviews on the podcast, and LP was able to really chop it up with a bunch of them. So that's why I think it's so important, especially when you vet it. So as the young sister was saying, you know, you got to vet these people's shit. This is our third year. You see, we not canceling. We not postponing, whether it's one person or 2,000 people. We going to continue to do it. We have great partners. We have great relationships. So there it is.
All right. I might just ask this one question, and after that, I want to kind of open the floor up, about 10 more minutes of this. This is one of the questions that I wrote down for most of them. What are some ways to get artists, influencers, and administrators and business owners, companies to see eye to eye? So I feel like there's always going to be this disconnection with the artists and the administrators. And when I say the admin, I'm talking about, I feel like media is like kind of in the middle, in my opinion. I mean, depending on where you at, it matters, but you have the creators, and then you have, like, prime example, you have a hip hop artist, and then you have a venue. what are some ways that the business owner can understand what the creator is trying to do, and how the creator can understand what the business person is doing? Because I feel like there's a lot of gray clouds in there. Like some of the artists don't understand, like there are bills that need to be paid, so a lot of things can't happen, or it needs to be on a schedule. I don't want to be transparent like that, but
You said this.
You know what? I'll be transparent.
Space.
Shout out to Shawana. I pulled my card and I was like, I want to see if I can get the auditorium. I asked her this on Thursday. Yeah. I know good and well I probably wasn't gonna be able to get that in the day, but I was gonna pull the trigger a little bit. But a part of me was like, I tried it because I felt like I had a little bit of favor. Like I felt like I was, I'm Al Pete. I can probably pull the plug a little bit. But I understand that it doesn't go that far. A lot of artists and a lot of business owners are not talking to each other to be like, this is the way you should approach me, or this is the way, da. So what are some? I want y'all to answer that. All four of y'all. How can people see eye to eye on that? Like, what are some things that could be in place so that an artist won't step to a business owner and be like, can I get this building tomorrow? And I want everything free. But what if a business owner need to know, like, listen, this is a cultural type of event. Like, can you support the culture a little bit more? This is a cultural town. We're trying to build it up. So it would be cool if I got an event outside and it's raining, could you give me a little bit of grace and mercy?
Okay, I don't want y'all creatives to shit on me, okay? So, a disclaimer. I used to work for Rush Def Jam Music. So my job was to manage recording artists. And in managing recording artists, I also had to make sure Def Jam had its business in place. So it was a win-win for the label and for the artist. So I'm gonna kind of come from that perspective. Creatives, y'all gotta have y'all business in fucking order. Y'all gotta be a business. All that creative, I get it. Me and my business partner, we hash it out all the time in our office, and y'all gotta have y'all business in order. And I mean, y'all have to be a company. Really, one of the bottom lines, you have to be a company. You have to, whether it's your LLC or Inc., however you want to, set up your corporation, your EIN number, a business bank account, start having records of the money that you spend so you can eventually have your P&Ls, your profit and loss. You got to move like a business. You got to move like a company. So when you're in those rooms and talking about different opportunities, you're not coming from Joe the painter. You're coming from Joe Concept LLC. Here's my business. This is what I do. Here's my paperwork. If you're going to pay me, here's my wire so you can bank wire in my company bank account, and so forth and so on. And I think as you creatives move as a company, and I met some of y'all, and I know you do, but if you move as a company, the respect level is a little different, because in my opinion, and I'm gonna be brief and pass it on to my sister, but a lot of folks will shit on you because they just don't think you got your shit together. And they'll just tell you anything, oh, yeah, we want you to paint this or do this, and we're gonna give you $100. Like, what? But if you come, hey, here's my proposal, this is what I see I could do, here's the cost of my goods, here's the time for my labor, and your company information, or your capability statement of what you do, or what your organization do as a creative, I think you'll see a lot of different changes. And if nothing more, organizations will look at you differently.
I mean, Honestly, it's not much to say after that. It's really about how you present yourself. I mean, anything else I say will really just be piggybacking off of what you said. That presentation, again, it matters. It matters if you want someone to take you seriously. And the idea that, oh, I never did this before, so I'm just gonna, you on that phone all the time. That phone has so much information if you really want to figure it out. Just like Rawby was saying earlier about mentorship. Just because you don't know that person, for example, LaRussell, if that is somebody who is an independent artist who is doing the type of things that you want to do and you've seen him scale his business, you need to follow him. You need to figure out all of the things that he did. You need to do a deep dive. Like, instead of spending the time on Instagram doing absolutely nothing, repurpose that device, repurpose that social media to really figure out how it could better your life and how it fits your company. And, you know, everything else is just what you said. So, yeah, it's a good word.
Yes to everything that they said. Absolutely. And I will also say this. A lot of artists just don't know how to speak business. You know, it's a language. And just be honest, like, you know, you have to learn that. You have to be in those rooms and be around people. Once again, mentorship and collaboration. You know, I feel as if, to answer P's question, in order to better those relationships between business owners and artists, get somebody around you that speak business. Open your team up. Open your team up. Like, I work, like, y'all as back there videotaping. Like, people don't know, but I work very closely with y'all. Like, I think she's smarter than me when it comes to business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, she helps me out, you know what I'm saying, with things. So, like, DreCo's, the way she looks at things visually, she can see things better than me. Like, she's, like, I rely on her when it comes to, like, things like that. LRK, like, on the photography and video, he's at every Winedown. He's literally at every Winedown. Are you not? Like, I don't kid when I say there are people around me who do things better than me. Toya, you know what I'm saying? Like, that I just don't know how to do, or I don't have the time to do or capability to do because I'm thinking about X, Y, and Z. Artists need to meet business owners where they're at, and that starts with the language. Like, okay, hey, Mr. So-and-so of XYZ LLC, I have an LLC, but hey, meet my COO who is going to explain to you what's going on with our business, and then we can have a conversation about how to lock this in. Or if I don't have the time to do, or if they don't have the time to do that, I'm sitting down with somebody and we're learning together how to speak to these people together. So artists, my biggest takeaway from this is to, hey, increase your team, open your mind, and allow somebody who can help you facilitate those spaces and navigate those conversations. Allow them to help you grow your business. And yes to everything they said.
Real
Bye,
quick.
DreCo.
Real quick, let's give a round of applause for DreCo. She has to leave because Auntie's house is going on after this. It starts at 9 o'clock. I just want to give that quick, big plug for Auntie's house. If you're not familiar with Auntie's house, please, well, I don't know if it's sold out. Is the ticket still available? Or? They still got tickets, but it's at the Glass Factory, so she has to leave. She did the styling of Auntie's house. She does the styling at Winedown Wednesday too, right?
She helps us with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, one more time for DreCo, Mechele.
Absolutely.
And another thing too, real quick, and then Carla gonna speak it, then we gotta wrap it up. But artists, I'm gonna speak to artists, but artists don't just get around people because, you know, they're in the place or they have the place. Like, talk to them like they got some, I mean, like, they're intelligent. So even with my scenario, like with Shawana, like, Shawana is very intelligent. Right. Very intelligent. She is very full of wisdom. Right. So even when I come to her and that, I came to her with the intent that she has wisdom versus like, oh, I just need a hookup real quick. Right. Even though it did come off as a hookup, at the end of the day, with anything else I got going on, I'm going to come to Shawana because Shawana has a lot of wisdom and she's going to teach me something that I might need to know. That's right. So, Carla, go ahead.
All right. I agree with what they said as well. You don't know everything, and it's okay. Like, there's no shame in where you might be right now versus where you want to go. And so I think when you accept that, then you know what questions to ask, and then you seek out the right people. I've been doing networking and, you know, mentorship type of things for a long time here in the city. But I would say conclusively the best business program for me that I've taken is Jack's Bridges through the Jack's Chamber. I know Yaya was in there. It single-handedly helped me scale my business in the last 2 years. I pretty much had one main client, and then I did like smaller projects for probably about 5 years. And then once I did Jack's Bridges, you go through a program, they teach you your value proposition. So they help you craft like an elevator pitch and all that stuff I thought I kind of had already, but they help you speak the language of corporations and larger city organizations if you want to. So now one contract can pay all my bills versus I had, So, and now at the end of the course, we pitched to the airport, JEA, JTA, Baptist Health. It was like 9 city agencies. And then also Black people, because these were people in supplier diversity with these organizations, because the whole program is about helping small businesses, woman-owned, Black-owned businesses. So anyway, and it's free, yes. Yes, you don't have to be a member of the chamber, but go to jacksbridges.com. And then after I finished the course, the chamber paid me to do a video about the program. So if you watch the video on the website, that's one that my company produced. But the applications are open right now. They'll help you with your like tax information, capability statement. But you can go there knowing nothing, and I guarantee you'll have a takeaway. But yes, there's a creative side and there's a business side. I feel like I'm interested in both. And but if you're not, there's no shame in that. Just find someone who can be that other perspective for you.
Indeed. All right, real quick. Tell them where they can find you at. If one person has a question in the crowd, we can ask it, and then we can shut it down.
I'm gonna let Carla do
Okay.
her spiel first.
All right. You can find me at carlamechele.com, CarlaMechele.
Absolutely. You can find me on my socials at That's Rawby. That's THATS. Rawby, that's RAWBY. You can also follow Winedown Wednesday at Winedown Wednesday Jacks on all socials as well. And Pete, if I can shameless plug the show real fast, if you guys are interested, the next Winedown Wednesday is going to be August 28th at the Glass Factory as well. This will be our 15th installment. You can guys get tickets online at any of the links in the bio. I encourage everybody here to pull up. Black in the Garden has always had an installation at the Glass Factory installment, so shout out to Black in the Garden in the back. Miss Thrifty Rose has been a vendor at our events before, and a lot of our friends here have been there as well before. Yaya has done some content. Carla has done some content for Winedown as well. You've probably seen her on our page. And I know you didn't go into the collaboration question yet, but that's the importance of collaboration. People around you are able to help you build your business up as well. So I can't stress that enough as well. And shout out to Placemaking Jacks. Winedown is also having a festival. And Mr. Al Peters helping us with our media and his whole team as well. You know what I'm saying? October 5th, and Lift Every Voice in Sing Park. You already know what it is. Hopefully, you guys can all make it. And, so we always want you guys to be there. You can save the day in our bio as well. Shout out to everybody who helps put that together as well. So follow us, and Mr. McNair, take it away.
Just Google Think Bold Festival.
You Googleable. That's what they say. You Googleable.
Just Google Think Bold
right,
Festival. But listen, the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's keynoting. I'm not sure if y'all know. So they got approved for that $1.4 billion, but well over $150 million have to go to people like y'all. So you best be there and pull them to the side and get more detail. Lil Duval is coming. He's also keynoting. And we have a list of other folks we just can't drop yet because the ink hasn't dried, that represents Jacksonville, even though they might not live here anymore. Like my man on Power, I ain't gonna say his name, but y'all figure it out. But it's a bunch of folks that's coming to Jacksonville for this Think Bold. Google Think Bold Festival, conference.com.
Indeed. One question. Hold on. Can we take the mic? Can somebody take the mic there? I'm sorry.
My name is Kevin Kelly. I belong to the Jacksonville Jazz Society, the Jacksonville Pinochle Club, and also the National Pinochle Association. I want to let everybody know, I've known this gentleman for 45 years, and I'm referring to Mr. McNair. I went to high school with him. And he's always been a dynamic person. He's always been just a leader. And I just encourage all of you, when he talks about rubbing shoulders and picking brains, that's where you start. He's a very intelligent, dynamic businessman. And again, I am very proud of us. And we had our 40th class reunion, high school class reunion last year. The one person who they always ask me about was that gentleman. I just want to get that out the way. Dynamic person, and please, please engage him because he is a wealth of resources. The Think Bold conference in its current state, what do you see it evolving into? So I think you probably have a vision to say, well, right now, this is the current state. What is this going to evolve into in maybe 5, 10 years? What do you see for that?
So thank you very much for telling my fucking age.
Boom.
No, that's my man. No, I was just joking. Straight from New Jersey. Man, that's crazy. Man, so Mo and I's, from day one, we had a 10-year plan and a 20-year plan. So right now we're going into year 3, but we have a full 10-year plan. And basically the reason why is because we was watching with the city, Downtown Vision, the chamber, the mayor's office, all they plans started 10 years. So we was like, shit, well, we need to start at 10 years. We're not doing no year to year or what's next. So we have a 10-year plan. We're all going into our 3rd year. We've got plenty of momentum, but our mentor company, because we have mentor companies. So we don't know these people, but South by Southwest is one of our mentor companies. A3C in Atlanta, Georgia is one of our mentor companies. And once or twice a year, we chop it up with the event planners or coordinators or the people who run that. And whether we do a Zoom or whatever the case may be, and we chop it up for an hour or 2 and we learn best practices and so forth and so on. So our goal for our community, our city, and collaborating with you folks and all the other collaborators is to truly be similar to like those conferences and try to bring in labels, Facebooks, Googles, all these type of social media companies, all these type of film companies. That's what we're pushing this year. Well, 2025, so Netflix is coming, Hulu's coming, all those different streaming platforms are coming out because a lot of folks that we talked to last year said y'all didn't have much for creatives. So he's like, shit, all right, we're gonna do that. So that's what we're working on now for a lot of you creators. So our goal is to be similar to some of those companies and festivals and conference. So that's our 10-year plan. We're in year 3 now.
Beautiful, beautiful. No more questions because I want everybody to mingle around. I'm sorry. Sorry this took long, but this is some great conversation. Y'all thought this was great?
Absolutely.
No. Give it up for the panelists. Make some noise for the panelists. Listen, get their contacts. I mean, y'all approachable, right?
Yeah.
Because some artists be on some standoff shit.
Tap in. Make sure y'all tap in with us, please.
Yeah. Especially these rapper guys. They be Jamal. He's so standoffish. No, for real. No. On the real though, a lot of artists are standoffish, and I know for me, I go in DMs and be like, yo, you have a very dope song. And I just want to get it to play it at a party. And it's just this, so artists gonna have to let up a little bit. It's just those many things. So, but anyway, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. One more time, make some noise for the panelists. Make some noise for yourselves. Listen, I was supposed to be doing the MPN app, all that stuff. Listen, just go download it. I'm gonna put a video out within next week going through everything, but download it. Go to Linktree /MPN Management. You can download it for the Android and for the iPhone, and you can listen to music. The latest podcast that we put out pops up on there immediately. You can listen to on-demand mixes, all that great stuff. So I'm trying to build something on there as well to where we can have a community type of board where we can go in there and kind of do a little chat, like a Twitter type of thing, but not like that. But I want to make sure I have that for the artists, for the community, for us to tap in so we can know what's going on. And speaking of which, shout out to Auntie outside in the back. Round of applause. She ride at, oh, you don't want to?
Come on, Auntie. Auntie outside.
Every Monday on the radio show at 5 p.m., she gives us the scoop of what's going down in Jacksonville. She has a list of shows and people that we need to be tuned into. So that's Monday at 5 p.m. on MPN Radio. And also, Yaya does the same thing as well on Thursdays, right, on WJCT, where she gives her spiel. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and you need to follow Create Jax. If you're not following Create Jax, you're playing yourself, all right? Y'all following Create Jax, right? Every Thursday they had the dopest stuff for us to do. So anyway, I'm done, y'all. Mr. LP, again, thank y'all so much. I'm going to do this in 3 months where I don't know. Just follow MrLP.com.
We love it.
We're going to make it happen, though. But love y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. Mingle, 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 mingle.
Shout out to the MPN Network. Shout out to the Corner Gallery. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for coming. Shout out to Mr. LP.